Hello everyone. So in today's video we will be discussing about the food chain and food web, which is the second lecture of the unit ecosystem and environment. Also, do not miss the end of the video because I'll be discussing some of the MCQs related to this topic that have been asked in the previous year question papers. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So first of all, let us discuss the definition of food chain. As you can see in the pictures, the organisms are eating something or some other organism. So the definition says series of organisms feeding on one another. That is, it is a series of organisms that are eating one another, that are feeding on one another, and it is a series of that. Also, it is a relationship of animals. Somebody is being eaten and somebody is eating, right? So food chain is basically a series of organisms feeding on one another. Already know that this ultimate source of energy is sun because the plants are also utilizing the sun's energy. Also, algae, which is able to prepare its food by the process of photosynthesis, is also requiring sun's radiation. So out of the radiations that come out of the sun, only less than 50% are PAR, that is photosynthetically active radiation, and out of that only 2 to 10% is utilized by the plants to prepare its food. So you can understand, if 100% of energy is there with the sun, how lesser amount of energy is coming to the plants until they are making their food. So the ultimate source of energy is sun. So we can say that the flow of energy is unidirectional, that is coming from the sun then to the plants, then plants are eaten by other animals, and hence the energy is entering the system. So it is only through sun. The point that you have to take away from this is that the flow of energy is unidirectional. Now, the next thing that you will come across, the next term that you will come across a lot of times is trophic level. So it is nothing but the each level of food chain. Each of the levels that are in the food chain, they are known as the trophic levels. So first level is of plant, which are also known as producers. Then second are the herbivores that eat the plants. Third are the carnivores that eat the herbivores. So this is one trophic level, this is another, and this is another. So whatever number of levels are there in the food chain, that are known as the trophic levels. We'll see the different names of the trophic levels. So the first trophic level is always of producers, which are able to produce their own food in the presence of sunlight by the process of photosynthesis. So what is included in the producers? It is plants and algae, also the phytoplanktons in the case of aquatic ecosystem. The animals or the organisms that are eating the producers or the products that are produced by the plants are known as primary consumers. After producers, whatever whoever is consuming the producers are known as the consumers, right? And the primary consumers are herbivores, which are eating plant or plant based products. Secondary consumer comes next, and they are known as the carnivores, which are eating the herbivores, right? And in the top, or the tertiary consumer, they are known as the carnivore. This is not the case in all the food chains. There are food chains which have quaternary consumer as well. So if there is quaternary consumer, then the quaternary consumer will be known as the top carnivore, right? We'll see an example of the same. Producer, in the case of producer, it is a carrot, that is a plant product, which is eaten by a rabbit, which is a herbivore, and then which is eaten by a fox. Ultimately it is eaten by a lion. So lion is eaten by none other animal, so hence it is known as the top carnivore. It will ultimately die and decomposers will decompose it. So food chains does not occur in nature. Why is it so? We'll see. So firstly, there is a food chain, simple food chain that I have already talked about. That is producer, then herbivore, and then carnivore. Simple plant, deer, and lion. If there is no plant in the ecosystem, right? So in the case of food chains, there is only one option of food for every trophic level. If there is deer, it only has an option of grass. If there is lion, it only has an option of deer. So let us consider that if there is no grass, then what will happen is deer will not get anything to eat and hence it will die. Ultimately lion will also die because there is no deer. Second case, there can be a possibility in which deer are not there. So what will happen is lion will not be able to feed on grass directly, and the grass will grow to an extent which will harm the ecosystem, or which will uh, there will be an imbalance in the ecosystem, right? And ultimately the lions will also die because it is not getting anything to eat. Third is the case in which there is no lion, or all the lions are dead. So what will happen is the deer will eat the grass, and it will finish off the grass of that area, and ultimately it will also get finished off, as it will not be having any uh, grass to eat. So if there is not a check on the population of deer by the lion, then this is the case. So we see that food chains doesn't occur in the nature, because animals have different food choices, they have different various food choices, and hence there is a stable ecosystem. Next is type of food chains. So there are basically two types of food chains. First type is grazing food chain, and the second type is detritus food chain. So as the name itself is clear, the grazing food chain, it starts with the producers. So grazing food chain will start with producer, a plant, and hence it will be like the herbivore, then the carnivore, then top carnivore. In the case of detritus food chain, it starts with the dead organic matter. So this food chain, how will it go? It will start with dead organic matter, and then it will continue with the decomposer decomposing it, the organic matter mixing in the soil, then it is utilized by the plant, and then so on and so forth. So these are the two food chain types. First is grazing food chain, another is detritus food chain. Now, where are humans? Where can we place humans in in these trophic levels? So we know that humans, there are certain people who only eat vegetarian food. There are certain people who are non-vegetarian. There are certain people who are eating both. So there is no fixed place of humans. It can come on the level of primary consumer, also on secondary consumer, also on the top carnivore level, that is the ultimate, that is either tertiary consumer or quaternary consumer, whatever the case may be. Also there is a question, that is where are the decomposers, where can we place the decomposers? So it also doesn't have a place in the trophic levels, because if producers are dying, then they are decomposed by decomposers. If primary consumer is dying, then also it is decomposed by decomposer. Same is the case with secondary and tertiary consumer as well. So decomposers are also not given a place in the trophic levels. They can come anywhere in the trophic level, except for, of course, the producers. So same is the case with humans, they cannot be in the place of producers, but other than that they can come in all the three places. So now we'll talk about the food web. It is a network of interconnections of food chains. So basically, what is a food web? It is an interconnection of food chains. We'll see an example in the next slide, but here we can understand that it gives the animals more than one food options, right? And also it exists in nature. So food web exists in nature. It is a kind of a web that is formed with the interconnections of the food chains. So here is a food web, an example of food web. It starts with the producers, then it goes to the primary consumer, then secondary consumer, and then to tertiary consumer. In this case, the top carnivore is the eagle, as you can see here. So eagle is not eaten by any other organism. It will die and ultimately will be decomposed by the decomposers, right? So this is an example of the food web. You can see that you can make different food chains by this. There are two, three, four food chains that can be made, and it is a interconnection of all the food chains that is making a food web. Now we already know that what is a food chain and what is a food web. Let's see the differences, very basic differences. Food chain, it doesn't exist in nature, as I have told you. food webs exist in nature. Only one organism in one trophic level in the case of food chain. So in the case of food chains, what will happen is there will be only one organism at one trophic level. But in the case of food web, there is more than one organism in one trophic level. That is, the organisms have different food options for them. They are not only having one option. Then it is a linear flow of energy, right? So there is only one series of organism that is eating the another, so it is a linear flow of energy. It is a non-linear flow of energy. The flow of energy is not straight. It can go like from one organism to another, then it is going to another, then it is going to another, right? And it is a multi-level chain, right? So the multi-level flow of energy is there. Also, food chain is unstable and food web is a stable thing, right? So these are the basic differences. You already know the definition, so you can add the definitions in this column as well. Now let us move on to the MCQ part. I'll discuss some of the questions that have already been asked in the NET examination in the previous year related to food chains. So let's start. So the first question is, which of the following organisms can act as primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer or scavenger? So here you can also understand one more thing, that the top carnivore is also known as the scavenger in different types of food chains. So your options are snake, tiger, raven and phytoplankton. So this question has been asked in the previous year papers of NET examination in paper 2 of environmental sciences. So let's discuss the options one by one. First is snake. So snake cannot come in the level of primary consumer, of course, because it doesn't eat plants. Second is tiger. Same is the case with tiger. And with the D option, it is phytoplankton. It is the producer of aquatic ecosystem that I have already mentioned in the past slides. So phytoplankton cannot come in the level of consumers. So as I have skipped one of the options, you can easily understand that the right answer is raven. It can come in the level of primary consumer, secondary consumer or in the level of scavenger as well. The next question is, removal of decomposers from an ecosystem will lead to. What will happen if there is no decomposer in the ecosystem or in the food chain? So what will happen is, the options are reduction in nutrient cycling, decreased number of carnivores, increased number of carnivores or increase in number of herbivores. What will be the answer? This question has also been asked in the previous year question paper. So let us see the option B, C and D. So if there are no decomposer, then there cannot be a decrease in the number of carnivores, because it depends upon the producers that are there, right? The herbivores that are there. Then increase number of carnivores, same is the case with that. Increase in the number of herbivores. When can the number of herbivores increase? If there is no carnivore, right? So decomposers have effect on the nutrient cycling. There will be less lessening of the nutrient cycling that happens in the ecosystem. So your A option will be correct. So the next question is, in which of the following ecosystems the food web involves more species and more trophic levels? Your options are rainforest, ocean, desert or glacier. So in which of the ecosystem there is maximum number of species that are present is the question. This is also a previous year question paper question. The right answer to this question will be option B, ocean, because the maximum number of species that are present in the ecosystem is the ecosystem ocean, because also in rainforest there are many species, but in oceans there are maximum number of species. So this is a assertion and reasoning type of question. These kind of questions have been asked in last year question paper as well, also this year question paper as well. So these are very important. So assertion says the available energy of an ecosystem decreases with the length of the food chain. As the length of the food chain is increasing, the available energy is decreasing. This is what the assertion is saying. Secondly, the reason says, at each transfer of energy in food chain, a large proportion of potential energy is lost as heat. There is some loss of energy as heat as we move from one trophic level to the another in a food chain, is what the reason is saying. And the options as usual are this. In the case of assertion and reasoning, the options are like this only. Both A and R are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. Both A and R are correct, and R is not the correct explanation of A. A is true, but R is false. A is false, but R is true. These are your options, and you have to tell me what is the right answer. Right, so in this case, we I'll explain why the answer is A, that is both A and R are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. So read this assertion and reason carefully, and then I'll move to the next slide. So A was correct in the last for the last question, and the reason behind is it the 10% energy rule that was given by Lindman. So it says there is only 10% of energy transfer from one trophic level to another. That is, as we move from one trophic level to another, there is only 10% of energy transfer. Rest of the energy is either lost in the form of heat, or it is utilized by the organism in the processes of respiration or in other process. So we know that the ultimate source of energy is the sun, which gives its energy to the producers. Then it moves to the second trophic level, to the third, to the fourth. And due to the loss in heat, or due to the utilization of energy, only 10% of it is utilized, is transferred to the next trophic level. Also, one more point is there, that in a food chain there are maximum 4 to 5 trophic levels, because as we move from 5th to 6th, 6th to 7th trophic level, there will be no energy left for the organism to survive. So maximum number of trophic levels in the food chain are either 4 or 5. So that was it for today. I hope you have understood the topic well. If you have any questions, you can comment down below. Also, if you have liked the content, you can hit the like button, share it with your friends whoever are preparing for the competitive exams, and subscribe to the channel as well for more such informative videos. Thank you so much.